Should the Dolphins trade Jaylen Waddle? Now, obviously, people are like, the Dolphins were stacked this season. You know, they had Tua, they had Tyreek Hill, they had a great, running game as well. The defense played tough with Christian Wilkins leading the inside the box. Obviously, the McDaniels, a little bit of spunky type head coach. And it's like, should they trade Jaylen Waddle? And people keep talking about it. Should they trade him? Should they trade him? It's in the media. It's in the news. It's all through Miami. And people are talking about Tua and should he be there? But really, the conversation comes down to, what does that dynamic look like? What's the dynamic look like? And I got to tell you something. Tyreek Hill stood up for him right away, and he said, look, no, don't trade my boy. He plays better than me at this time of the year. He claimed that Jaylen Waddle is playing better than him at the appropriate time. So in that current amount of years that he's in the National Football League, Tyreek Hill thinks that Jaylen Waddle is ahead of him. And I don't think really it's about how good Jaylen Waddle is. I think the problem that the Dolphins have is they have a big payout. Right? They got salary caps. They got things going on. They got some concerns. They got some problems. They got to make some moves. They got to make a decision on Tua still. Are they going to extend his contract for the long term? Are they going to just keep him for one more year? And I talk about this a lot because this is a big point conversation. But realistically, should they trade Jaylen Waddle? He was in, then he was injured. He was out a little bit, then he came back. To win in the NFL right now and get to the playoffs is one thing. Dolphins have done that. To get to the Super Bowl, you need people that are healthy. You need reliable players, right? The injuries are crazy. And so when Tyreek Hill goes down, you got Jaylen Waddle. Jaylen Waddle goes down, you got Tyreek Hill. I think it's important. Only the Chiefs are one of the rare teams in the National Football League that can go to the NFL, go to the playoffs after, the season, go to the postseason, the playoffs, beat all the teams, then get to the Super Bowl and win without a receiver. And yeah, they had a receiver, but they didn't have a star. They didn't have a Jaylen Waddle. They didn't have a Tyreek Hill, right? They didn't have players like that. They didn't have Deebo Samuel, right? These star talented athletes, they weren't available. So if you take a look at this, for the Miami Dolphins, this is my opinion, for the Miami Dolphins to get next season through the playoffs and even have a chance at the Super Bowl, they need Jaylen Waddle and they need Tyreek Hill. If they get rid of Jaylen Waddle and they just have Tyreek Hill running around, they're still going to look for another receiver. The problem is going to be the amount of money they have to spend to keep all these players on the roster. And I got to tell you, Tua needs this guy. Tua needs more talent. He needs to continue building that roster because he can't scramble. He can't get hit. The concussions, being unconscious, he can't scramble. He has to go back and be able to dump the ball off to random receivers. And looking around, when you got Tyreek Hill on one side and you got Jaylen Waddle on the other side, it feels pretty damn good that you know you are comfortable. When in doubt, you could dump a 5-yard pass and Tyreek Hill can spring for 50 to 60 to 70 yards. And Jaylen Waddle is a beast. They need him. Can they handle financially? That's the problem. Can the Miami Dolphins handle financially the roster? Can they continue to build the organization? Can they win in the regular season and beat teams that are above 500? Right? It's like last season, people are like, Dolphins have a good record. Who have they beat? Not many good teams. So you look at it and you go, wow, they're stacked. Great receivers. 2 at the quarterback position. They have a pretty damn good defense and a great running game, and they barely beat teams that have a winning record. That's a problem. So they got to do better. I think they got to keep Jaylen Waddle, find the best way to keep him. And if not, they better trade for a first-round pick and get someone, which is something they could be doing if you keep your eyes open and watch. Hey, guys, thanks for watching and tuning into the Brandon Mason Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time.